China is providing assistance to Brunei in the construction of a bridge project that would span the sea and, if finished, connect Brunei's two major cities. People now travel between Temburong and the center of Brunei, a journey that has been reduced from the initial 2 hours to just 15 minutes in length. Brunei has been given reason for fresh optimism because to China's construction of the sea crossing bridge, which has facilitated the economic growth of both locations. Among the many nations that make up Southeast Asia, around 400 people call Brunei, which is part of a reasonably wealthy nation, home. Nevertheless, the population density is rather low, owing to the comparatively low land area. Well, the whole territory of Brunei is split in half, with one half located in the west and the other half in the east. The region of Lembang in Malaysia serves as the dividing line between the two halves. Because of this, Brunei has just one kind of economic structure and a weak base for its industrial sector. This is somewhat comparable to Malay Island and Airport Island in the Maldives. However, in 2018, China assisted the Maldives in successfully building a sea crossing bridge that links Malay Island with the other islands in the archipelago. The travel between the two locations has grown more easy, which has also contributed to the economic growth that has occurred between the different areas of the Maldives. Brunei saw a renewed sense of optimism after China's successful assistance in the construction of the sea bridge in the Maldives. There is not much of a gap in distance between the two sections of Brunei. The only thing that separates the west from the east is a bay called Brunei, and its breadth is barely little more than 27 kilometers. If it is possible to construct a sea crossing bridge on Brunei Bay, the amount of time required to travel between the two locations will be cut down by more than an hour. Moreover, Brunei's economy will reach a higher level of development. Yet, Brunei is not in a position to construct a bridge due to the fact that it does not have sufficient fundamental strength. For this reason, Brunei sought assistance from China in the construction of a wood-on-sea crossing bridge by learning from the Maldives' experience. But do you know what? Around the time when the project was being planned, Malaysia voiced its opposition to the stance on sea bridge. This is how the event transpired. The fact that Malaysia would suffer financial consequences as a result of the building of the Temburong Bridge is really the primary motivation for Malaysia's opposition to the project. After Brunei proclaimed its independence, the territory of Brunei has been split in two, with the Limon region of Malaysia serving as the divider between the two halves. Since there is no land route that connects the two locations, travel between them is very inconvenient. All of the links between the two territories of Brunei need to essentially travel via the Lembang region in Malaysia, which has the potential to bring in a significant amount of additional revenue for Malaysia on an annual basis. When the Temburong Sea Crossing Bridge is finished being constructed, it won't be required to go through the Lembang region of Malaysia in order to get from the capital of Brunei to Temburong in the future. This is something that will have an effect on Malaysia in some way. The year 2013 saw the reestablishment of a strategic cooperation partnership between the two nations, and Brunei became the first nation to sign on to China's One Belt, One Road project. Currently, the scope of economic and commercial cooperation between China and Brunei is progressively growing, and the growth of Brunei's economy has also undergone a significant transformation as a result of these developments. In addition, China has a robust infrastructure and, in the last few years, has constructed an incredible number of bridges that span bodies of water. China has virtually exceeded the majority of nations in Europe and the United States when it comes to the pace of building as well as the quality of the projects. China and Brunei have finally inked a bridge building agreement and have agreed to jointly spend $380 million in the construction of the Temburong Sea Crossing Bridge as part of their mutually respectful and cooperative relationship. Brunei's greatest infrastructure project is the Temburong Bridge, which spans a distance of 30 kilometers and required an expenditure of $380 million United States dollars to complete. When finished, it will be the sea crossing bridge in the southeast that spans the largest distance. The Chinese engineering team worked on the Temburong Sea Crossing Bridge for a total of 3 years to complete its construction, and it finally opened to traffic in March of the year 2020. The Great Mora Island Bridge was Brunei's very first bridge to span a body of water. It is a significant tunnel in the water that connects the Mora area with the vast Mora Island. From 2003, the government of Brunei has prioritized the creation of a significant economic development initiative. The island features the construction of infrastructure on the island as well as the transformation of the area into an export processing facility, a petrochemical base, and a container terminal base and a container terminal. Unfortunately, since there are limits placed on the maximum amount of traffic that may be on the island, development on Moore Island has been halted for a considerable amount of time. The construction of a bridge that spans the water between Brunei and the mainland is an absolute need if the island is going to be fully developed and put to its fullest possible use. The large bridge that spans Moore Island is 5,915 meters in length, and it is designed to accommodate traffic at a speed of up to 100 kilometers per hour. The overall cost of the project was around $100 million. Nonetheless, it only took China 3 years to persuade the engineers that their work should be disregarded. China 2015 saw the beginning of construction of the magnificent Moore Island Bridge. Throughout the course of building, China encountered several challenging and intricate obstacles. Since the Great Moore Island Bridge is the first bridge that China has constructed in Brunei, it is required to meet with European and Brunei building standards. These criteria are significantly different from the construction standards that are used in China. Both American and Canadian businesses have squandered a significant amount of time and resources on bridge coordination and exploration. In addition, the building of the large Moore Island Bridge is part of a cash bidding project that the government is overseeing, and it is imperative that as many local businesses as possible work together on the project. The fact that practically no industry exists in Brunei and the vast majority of the raw materials needed for bridge building must be imported from other countries significantly slows down the rate at which China can build bridges. After putting in a lot of effort over the course of 3 years, China finally finished the massive Moore Island Bridge in 2018, as promised, and turned it over to the Brunei local administration for acceptance. Once the Great Moore Island Bridge is formally open to traffic, the link between the Great Moore Island and the land will be more convenient. This is of utmost importance to the economic growth of Brunei and will contribute significantly to the overall growth of the country. The two nations' decision to work together on the construction of the Cross-Sea Bridge project has helped bring their relationship with one another to a new level of intimacy. It is anticipated that the collaboration with Brunei's China would bring to an improvement in the quality of economic growth. There will undoubtedly be an increase in the number of bridges erected in China and in other nations in the future. If you think the video material is good, you should start subscribing to the China Proud channel right now so that you may get more fantastic stuff like this in the future. If you do this, you'll get more videos like this.